Obviously, a lot of things have changed this past year. One of them is how Walt Disney World is celebrating the holidays. In this video, I'm going to be talking about how Christmas 2020 is going to be a little bit different.
I'm Christina. I'm a traveler, a planner, and most importantly, a mom. I'm sharing my best tips to make traveling as a family a little less stressful. So put down your phone, pack your bags, and let's showcase the world.
It's been a roller coaster of a year. Definitely worth getting out of the house to celebrate a holiday this year if you're in a state where you can. I know here in Massachusetts they are asking us not to get together with people for the holidays. So, and if we do travel, we do have to quarantine for 2 weeks when we get back. But that doesn't mean that I don't want to go to Walt Disney World for Christmas, and if I wasn't immunocompromised, I would be there because it's going to be so magical. We do know that Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party has been canceled for this year because it draws crowds and Corona, not great. So, but what they have planned this year seems extra magical that I really, really wish I could go. So if you have a trip planned this year, here's what you can expect. If you don't have a trip planned yet, now is the year to plan a last minute trip. There is, dining reservations don't have to be made 180 days in advance. There's no fast passes. So really going last minute, if you're going to go, this is the year to do it. Go Christmas. Not Christmas, you're not gonna have to deal with Christmas crowds like you used to because parks are at reduced capacity. So definitely I think the year to go. So what can you expect? Let's start with the Animal Kingdom. Animal Kingdom doesn't usually have a ton going on for Christmas. Last year they had these beautiful puppets and they came out and interacted with you. My daughter loved them. It was her first birthday we went. And she loved interacting with these puppets. We spent a lot of time with these puppets and the puppeteers were amazing. I don't know if those are going to be back this year, but we are going to see the holiday decorations. That's already up at Animal Kingdom. And you are going to be able to experience festival flotillas. So flotillas are basically mini parades on boats that come down Discovery River and they have your favorite characters. One of those flotillas is going to have Santa Claus on it. There's also wintry tales on the Tree of Life. So if you have visited within the last few years, you've seen a ship projection show on the Tree of Life. This is the same thing, but it has some a holiday music score and some holiday magical scenes. Bumping over to Hollywood Studios, they did announce that Minnie's Holiday Dine at Hollywood Vine will be back. Obviously, the character interaction will be a little bit different. It's probably going to be something similar to what they're doing over at Topolino's at the Riviera Resort, where the characters are just walking by and not actually stopping at your table, but you can take selfies and you can say hello. And so you'll be able to see Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Daisy, and Goofy over at Hollywood and Vine. But I will caution you that the food is not known for being the best. So unless you really need that character experience, not my favorite place to go. They do have merry motorcades. Motorcades are basically mini parades that they're going to be driving in some fun themed cars. So there's different motorcades. There's a Star Wars motorcade, there's a Toy Story motorcade. They're not scheduled, so you can't look up on a schedule and see what time these motorcades are going to be. That's on purpose because they don't want to draw a crowd like a parade would. So they're throughout the day and sometimes you'll catch them, sometimes you won't, but they're a nice little added bonus. There's also going to be, or there was last year, there was a there was a Toy Story Land Christmas overlay, which was really fun. They added holiday music to Alien Swirling Saucers. I don't see why they couldn't do that again. And then the characters wore their holiday wear. If the characters are going to come out, they're not coming out right now. And they just added decorations. They already have them. They're not going to cost them anymore, so I don't see why they wouldn't do that. The other tentative one we haven't heard anything about is the digital show on the Tower of Terror. and it's called Sunset Greetings on Sunset Boulevard. We haven't heard anything about that this year. They did have it last year. We don't know if it will be returning. Then at Magic Kingdom, again, we know Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party has been canceled, but I actually think that's a good thing because I don't think the party is worth the money. I think that going Christmas week is much better, and this is like going Christmas week. So the difference is you have to pay $80 a person to get into the park at 7 o'clock to see the parade in the dark and fireworks. And so without having to pay the extra money, you're still going to get to see elements of the parade in character cavalcades. My favorite are always the Gingerbread Man and the Tin Soldiers, and they will be there. And you don't have to go busy Christmas week in order to see the parade during the day, because these cavalcades will be happening during the day throughout the entire month of December and part of November too. So there's no dream lights on the castle. That is a little sad this year. I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that the castle's all spiffed up for the 50th, and they want you to experience the new castle, not necessarily the lights, but they are going to have projections onto the castle that will look really, really great in your photos, is what they've promised. Then you have the Jingle Cruise on the Jungle Cruise. I love the Jungle Cruise. The Jungle Cruise is my favorite attraction. I know that's not one that really comes up for many people's favorite attractions, but I love the corniness and the dad jokes, and I love when they change it over for Christmas because I get new jokes. So just a little overlay to the ride to give it a new little fresh take. And then they have the Main Street Toy Soldier March, which is my favorite part of the parade. And honestly, I think seeing this Toy Soldier March alone is worth a ticket to the Magic Kingdom. It just brings me back to my childhood and watching the parade on Christmas morning. But my favorite place to be during the holidays is Epcot. I'm going to put a link to the video I did here on why Epcot's my favorite during the holidays, even beyond the Magic Kingdom. I love the Festival of the Holidays that they have at Epcot. We do know the Candlelight Processional was canceled this year, but we still get the Festival of the Holidays, which is so much fun. That's going to be taking place from November 27th to December 30th, and you're going to have the holiday kitchens coming back. I'm going to put a link to the video I did on some of my favorite holiday snacks. My friends Rochelle and Melanie from Polka Dot Pixie Dust blog are going down to try some of the new snacks this year, so I'll put a link below to their awesome blog posts that I'm sure they're going to come up with all the new snacks. I know that they're driving down today when I'm recording this, so I'm sure they'll have it up by the time this video goes up. So the holiday kitchens basically are like the Food and Wine Festival booths, but they celebrate the holidays. So you have a L'Chaim Hanukkah booth that has, black and white cookies. You have the Germany booth, which has a German Christmas market favorite, the Glühwein, which is basically warm sangria and one of my favorite things on the planet. All sorts of really fun things that showcase how different cultures celebrate the holidays. So really interesting. I love traveling to experience some of these things. So to be able to do that right from the same place, go from Israel to Germany to Brazil, and experience how they would experience the holidays. Obviously, it's not totally accurate or it's idealized, but still delicious. We know that there's going to be some promenades. So promenades are like cavalcades and motorcades, but they walk. So mini parades. You have the Santa Claus promenade with Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus. You have Mickey and Friends. You have a Frozen holiday promenade with Anna and Elsa, and you have a Princess promenade as well. So those will be happening throughout Epcot. Joyful, a celebration of the season, will be performing on the the stage that Candlelight Processional is usually on. So it's a, I believe Joyful is an a cappella group. I'm not positive. They might have music behind them, but they are going to be singing Christmas songs. Voices of Liberty are going to be performing in the American Gardens Theater, and so is the mariachi band. They'll be performing in the American Gardens Theater as opposed to in the Mexico Pavilion, and the Jamators will be performing in the Canadian Pavilion. We don't know if the holiday show storytellers are going to be back this year. They're one of my favorites. I love learning about Christmas traditions around the world. So I'll be a little bummed if they're not back. I think they can do it without drawing too much of a crowd. But obviously we want to respect social distance and make sure everyone is safe. So interested to see if the holiday storytellers come back. Then there's also Disney Springs at Christmas. They're not going to be having the Christmas tree trail in the way that they used to have it, where you just had that one trail you walked down. They're now going to be kind of scattered throughout the area so that you don't have all these people in one area. There's going to be Snowfall Town Center. Jock Lindsay's Holiday Bar is going to get Jock Lindsay's Hangar Bar is going to get a holiday overlay, which is kind of fun. And then a scavenger hunt they're going to have new this year, so I'm not sure exactly what that's going to look like quite yet, but my guess would be that it has something to do with the trees being throughout the entire Disney Springs and finding some of those and some other holiday decorations as well. A bunch of the non-Disney run restaurants also have all sorts of specials and things like that, but we won't see any updates on those until they go up. Usually they're not as ahead of announcements as Disney is, but they'll have holiday menus and fun things. We do know that there's going to be no gingerbread displays at any of the resorts this year, but I'm sure they will be decorating the resorts as usual. So make a reservation at a resort and go check out the decorations there. My favorite is Wilderness Lodge at Christmas time, so make a reservation at Whispering Canyon, or just go head over to Geyser Point. I love sitting out on the patio there with a drink and the brisket dip. Definitely worth the boat ride over from Magic Kingdom to hang out there and then go in and see the Christmas decorations, or hop on the monorail to see on your Magic Kingdom day to see the decorations at the monorail resorts, or during your Epcot day, walk over to some of the Epcot area resorts. Some of my favorite decorations I did do a video on. I will link to that there. I have a ton of Christmas resources. I did a ton of videos on Christmas in July. Usually that's when people will start planning their Christmas trip, is in July, 6 months in advance, so you can get those dining reservations. Like I said, that's not necessarily the case this year, but I still did Christmas in July, and I will do, I did a blog post on a roundup of all of those resources, so check those out below. If you want more Christmas resources, hit the subscribe button so you can get more videos, be the first to know, and really help me out. And thank you so much for joining me. Remember to take a break from the busy.
Need help planning your next family vacation? Visit us at showcasetheworld.com to request a quote or schedule a free vacation consultation. Want more great travel tips? You'll find those there too.